Hello. I am looking at the agenda for the City of Peterborough, Special General Committee, Finance Committee meeting, and City Council meeting for like environmental topics, and I will have this up and available for the morning well before 11 a.m. in case there's anything that you'd like to comment on. So the Special General Committee agenda. So it's a closed session meeting subject to solicitor client privilege related to the Canadian Canoe Museum, and property on Technology Drive, and personnel matters about an identifiable individual. Um, so there's not really anything to report about closed session. Oh. Finance meeting special. I'm just trying to go to the. Oh, maybe I can just go to the next. There's also a finance meeting. That starts at 5:45. A public meeting will be held May 31st, which is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. to present preliminary 2024 budget guideline report and hear public delegations. There was a statement in here about like the tax. Okay, so they're saying an all-inclusive rate of 4.8% is a net effect of increase in total tax levy requirements. And changes in assessment values and growth or reassessment. So there's been less growth. Water and sewer surcharge increases and change in education rates. So why do I mention this? Taxes impact environmental decision making. A lot of things come down to money, and we live in a capitalist society that doesn't always value the environment as much as it should, and things do cost money to live in a city. Um, let's see. There was a survey from March 28th to April 21st. So people ranked housing as the first issue, social issues, health, cost of living, physician recruitment, environment is number 6. And this is all before the economy, jobs, economic issues. Health and vitality of the downtown, arts, cultural and heritage, infrastructural transportation is number 10, crime, criminal activity number 11, governance and transparency number 12, provision of recreation facilities. So environment is ranked above jobs. Um, so 54%. Okay. Oh, previous years on buckets. Okay. Yeah, so 49.2%, basically half, said that they were comfortable with introducing new user fees for some services, increased user fees for city services that currently have fees, increased property taxes, reduced service levels is only 34%. So, and it's less than last year. Um, so yeah, so those are a lot about the finances in this meeting. So I'll move on to calendar, the city council meeting. Zoning bylaw. So there's a zoning bylaw. Award of non-standard procurement for Brentwood Polycam chain and flight equipment. Airport pumping station generating repair. There's a license agreement, strategic plan activities, homelessness service strategy and update report. That's a huge one. That's talking about um, building shelters for individuals. Delegation request to the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, civic awards. Transfer funds to Polk Hill Road reconstruction from Rupert Street to Water Street. That's not really environmental related. Transit budget considerations. Oh, there was a minister zoning orders request, and then there's a link, and then it's that council passed a resolution in support of the request from the Canadian Mental Health Association of Haliburton, Court of Pine Ridge for a minister zoning order at 24 Paddock Road to rezone the property from residential district to public service district 2 with an exception under section 3.9 of the zoning bylaw to permit a detoxification center as additional permitted use with a maximum of 12 beds to be contained within the existing building, and that a copy of council resolution be sent to Steve Cook, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Dave Smith, MPP, for Peterborough Cortha, Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, and to the Municipal Affairs and Housing Office in Kingston, along with a copy of the memorandum IPSMEMO23-007. So this is an environmental issue. Oh, there's no items attached because it takes away the municipal zoning orders take away the ability for people to address planning issues properly. There's a reduction in public participation, and this is problematic. And problematic in terms of land use planning because the public has often has good ideas, good suggestions. And it's not about like canceling a project. And it's not a good way to speed up a project because then you miss all the public consultations, and sometimes the public makes comments that weren't thought about in the planning process. And it sets the door, makes the door open for other zoning orders. Yeah, so that's about. Yeah, so I think that's about it. There is. Yeah, I guess I could go more into the. If I can find it. Oh, and hopefully the transit considerations, they don't vote on it this meeting. They did. There was a transit liaison committee meeting. Hopefully they don't vote on it. That would be. There was no report. City staff report, anyways. So let's see. Report of closed session. Oh, homelessness. So it's saying that they were going to use the staff be directed to use unbudgeted increased homelessness prevention program funding towards short-term strategy outlined in the report, which includes the provision for modular temporary housing at the city-owned 210 Wolf Street Hill parking lot properties, secured storage, security, washing facilities, support services, and site improvements. I think that's good. The councils did vote for this in the general committee. So I think that it's good to remind them that they did support this. That funding currently include in the 2023 budget. Overflow shuttle be reoriented to provide support services towards implementation of short-term strategy outlined in the report. Staff be directed to pursue the placement of modular temporary housing on alternative privately owned sites with appropriate supports, with the goal of alleviating usage and dependency on the retail parking site, and then authorized to repurpose the funding in community development budgets for meal drop-in program towards an emergency rental response program. I think that there should be like an emergency summer response program as well. And then and then the reason why, and then there's some other things. And then the reason why it's an environmental issue is because um, if people don't have access to washrooms, um, or if people have access to washrooms, there's going to be less pollution uh, from fecal matter going into the environment, contaminating things. Garbage collection, if there's garbage collection, there'll be less contamination, less risk of fires. As an example, unfortunately, there was a fire that happened recently, and I hope that you're able to donate material, time if you're in the area. Um, yeah, please donate. And unfortunately, I recently moved, so I'm not able to do things in material ways. But there are organizations that do accept donations. Um, in terms of um, in terms of monetary donations, and yeah, I think it's a good idea to pass this for environmental reasons, and human reasons like dignity. It'll get people out. It'll help people get out of homelessness. Um, oh, I love the city of Peterborough. Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Well, thank you for chatting, fancy pants. Um, yeah, so that was all that I have for today. I am heading out early tomorrow, um, and I plan on covering the Toronto election, um, part 3, and I will be posting part 1 tomorrow evening on Environmental Soup um, YouTube page. And let's see what else is there. Oh yes, I do hope to watch an an old recording of City Council. Let's From 2 weeks ago, the General Committee. I mean, because there was like a off mic. What's it called? Hot mic moment. That was captured in the meeting. I think that's worth talking about. So I'll do that later this week. Um, and yeah, Yeah, I do like Peterborough. I did move away from Peterborough, but I just recently, like within the last couple of days, and I know that there was like a huge community involvement, and a lot of environmental groups in Peterborough. Um, so like the Peterborough Field Naturalist, uh, and environmental clubs. Reimagine Peterborough is another one. Ontario Public Interest Research Group, Peterborough, Transition Town, a lot of social groups. Um, so yeah, sometimes um, yeah, that's important to remember as well. Um, some of the good things about Peterborough, um, in terms of like community structure, because it's not good to always talk about the bad things. Anyways, I I hope that you have a good evening, and I look forward to chatting tomorrow. Depending on how long the meetings go, I might be back on Twitch tomorrow or on today's Monday. So I might be back on uh, Wednesday, but I have a scheduled recording on Tuesday for YouTube. And I will start covering Kingston politics in the next month. So probably in I'll start in June probably. Um, so bye for now.